I did. Well, I had to bring up my only Tiggy memory, which was when we went over their house. Remember that parrot they had that swore like a sailor? I mean, this parrot. Oh my gosh.
That was the guy that Tiggy hung around in after Percy died. He had this cockatoo. And it sort of had a language on its own, didn't it? It didn't have many feathers, but it sure had a language on its own.
Boy, that's the understatement of the year right there. I'm telling you, this bird, I mean, it was hilarious. I mean, I would listen to
Your
Spirit.
eyes just
I
opened
was
like
just
you
like,
wouldn't believe.
I was like, that bird was using words I'd never even heard before, and I'd heard a few by the time I was 16.
Well, it had to learn them from somebody.
Oh my gosh, it was.
It didn't think of them by itself.
Oh, it was
Well,
funny.
Tiggy and Percy and Norm, and they were all swearers. I mean, you know.
Oh,
I mean, we just heard, and it wasn't that they were mad at someone. It was just kind of in the conversation, you know.
They were just
well, yeah, that was the way they lived.
Yeah, yeah,
We didn't like it. Yvonne didn't like it.
right.
I didn't like it. And our girls didn't like it.
But it was just,
But
it was just
as I said to your mum, honey, we'll have to understand. We don't have to like or dislike. If you can understand that. But they're relations, they're friends, they're going to come up here, they're going to visit, we're going to go visit with them, you know what I mean? You just couldn't wipe the family off the earth sort of deal, you know.
You
But-
love them and just gonna deal with it and know that you're.
Yeah, well, that's what we did eventually.
Wants it?
Hmm?
What's
Has
that?
everybody had salad that wants it?
yeah, we
Yeah.
need to put it away. You've had some, Dad?
No, I don't even know.
Becky hasn't, has she?
I had an
Her
extra
tummy
bowl
still
of
Oh,
chili.
she's not feeling well anyway.
I had an
A
extra
little
bowl
more.
of
Can I
chili.
have a little more?
I
More salad?
liked it. Yeah, I had.
I like
something.
that salad.
I did
Yeah,
too.
I haven't had enough salad lately.
Are you showing me all the old family?
How did Tiggy come to be so different than Millie and Grandma? You know, how did that? I mean, I realize siblings aren't all the same.
Everybody's different, Jody, and they're born with different personalities.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
Yeah. It's true. So was Tiggy older than Millie? I know Grandma
No,
was
Millie
the youngest.
was the oldest.
Millie was the oldest.
Yes.
So did you ever get the money out of the shack? You said the money wasn't in the till.
Yes. The builder was so nice and kind about giving us the shack. We were a young couple battling along, you know, and he felt sorry, I suppose. And he agreed to let us take the house, but we didn't sign any contracts with him until such times as he received the money. So I went to Jim. That's
Heather? Yeah.
This is the poultry
that
one.
was Grandma's
Grandpa gets
mother,
the pulp one. I don't like
her
pulp.
boyfriend, Jim. I went to Jim and I explained it to Jim. Oh, he said, okay. He said, how much do you want? I said, well, we need $750. And in those days, $750 was $750, man. You know?
A lot of money.
Today it's not even pocket money. But anyway. So he did. I said, Jim, I said, you will get that immediately. I get the other money. Well, it was a couple of 3 weeks, and I got the other money and finalized everything with the shack. So I said to Yvonne, I said, honey, put your dress on. We're going down and pay Jim this money, which we did do that.
And he was grateful, I'm sure.
Oh, he had no doubts at all, from what I could gather. you know,
He didn't even blink.
no. He was that kind of guy, and him and I, we got on famously. Although I wouldn't, when we went up to the pub, I wouldn't drink the booze and that. I'd have a lemon bow, that was the name of the company, lemon bow, 100% squashed lemon. And it'd be half a glass, the glass would be about that big, and there'd be half a glass of lemon. Then, in those days, I don't see it nowadays, they used to have soda in a bottle and they squirted it
Yeah,
out of the
club
bottle.
soda that you, yeah, they still have
Yeah,
that.
They still have it?
Yeah.
Right. And they'd fill the rest up with soda. And that's what I loved that. Well, when I was training for boxing, we used to have that, you know, and it sort of was good. So I took it down and we moved into the house, and I paid, I paid the builder before, because when I borrowed the money from Jim, I hadn't quite got the money from the other. But so when Jim gave me the money, I went straight, well, the builder only lived in the next street sort of thing, you know. Kent knows the name of the street.
Broad Street.
Yeah. So,
Cause I lived on Broad Street too.
It wasn't
Oh,
Broad.
really? You were close
It's
then to
broad.
their house.
It
Broad.
wasn't Broad Street, it was Broad Street.
Broad Street.
Broad Street.
Broad.
Broad Street.
So it was fixed up with the builder, and all we had to do was continue on paying it. Now, your grandmother, as I've heard you state, she was tight to the money, using that term.
Sure.
She was
Not in a derogatory term,
No.
but she was using that.
She was careful.
Okay. She took over the finances of the new house, right? Okay, I went to work and got as much overtime as I could possibly get, which it was used to be a lot. I used to work 12 and 14 hours a day. Okay? And then with my little sideline that I had, it used to pick over a couple of dollars here and there.
Sideline. Do you want to elaborate on that at all?
Oh, well, not really.
Was there something?
But
Is
anyway-
that their 5-car shot thing?
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
and pool.
Oh.
Pool shark. Were you a pool shark?
Oh. That's a definite sign when your eyes go down,
I
Grandpa.
wasn't the best because a couple of times or a few times I'd lost on points, but
The key is
No,
you go
no,
into a place and you don't
Never
act like
beat
you're that good, right?
No.
And that's how you get people to come in and
you sucker them in.
yeah, and you lose a couple early on and then you clean house
You
later.
sucker them in.
Yeah, that's why I've never beat him in pool.
He's still
But-
waiting for the
but
day to
that-
clean the floor with you, Grandpa.
But anyway, your grandmother, she took hold of the reins. Well, she took hold of the reins before that. And she was the greatest. She could stretch a dang. Anyway, I'll stay here, Lorraine, for a minute. Just for a minute. So,
Don't move.
every week, Grandma, used to get paid weekly. Okay? And what other monies I brought in was sort of added to the weekly payment sort of thing. And she would work out her money, right? And so, and we had a nice Holden car too at that time, didn't we? Right.
Is that the one where there's the picture
It was
with
turquoise
Grandpa
with
sitting
blue.
on the back of the truck or
It
the
was-
front
it
of
was
the bumper?
aqua with turquoise flashes down the side.
Because I remember there's a picture of him he's in shorts and he's sitting, I think, on the front bumper
No.
or the back
No.
end of a truck or something or a car.
That was a Vauxhall car which a doctor imported from England. A Vauxhall, all leather, etc., to what they had in those days. And that I pulled up. We'd just come back from Queensland or something, and I pulled up there at Nona's place and Ted's place, and that was known as kids and
Oh,
my
okay.
kids out in front of sitting on the car, and I went out and give them a bad time about sitting on that car. And that, but the photo was taken just before. But anyway, yes. So we used to, Grandma had used to work out the money, and so each week we'd sit down, or she would sit down and Lorraine and Jan. We'd be in the little kitchenette, just standing there, you see, and Mum had finished working out everything, and all the little packets, all the little paper packets she had, with all money for this and money for that and money for isn't that right?
Had them labeled, the little brown envelopes.
Right, right.
They got paid in those brown envelopes.
That's right.
They were paid in cash every week from the factory. And she saved some of those, and she would write on, like
This is the cable makers?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, utilities.
See, I remember.
Cable makers of Australia.
Yeah.
Yes. See?
Anyway,
Anyway.
and Lorraine and Jan would be in the kitchenette probably doing the dishes or something like that, And Mum would say, well, I'm finished now. Okay. And Jan would lean over and whisper in my ear, Dad, did you get 10 shillings for petrol?
She wanted to make sure you got, that Grandma gave you
Well,
enough.
you see, what we used to do with that, because with 10 shillings you could do a lot. We run the car on the 10 shillings. We stopped at the pit and had fish and chips on the way over to Nona or whatever. Yes, you could do things in those days. You can't do it with $1 today. I remember years ago, when I was only a youngster, when people used to pull into my mother's place and father's place whenever he was around, and they'd all talk about the future, what was happening and all this sort of thing. And I can remember an old guy, he says, you guys are full of it, he says. He said, it's going to come a time when you'll have to go to the grocery shop with a wheelbarrow of money. And how true that is now.
Mhm. Yeah, in those days, the 10, what was it?
Shillings.
10 shilling, it was the smallest note there was. There was a 10 shilling and a pound notes, but
A
10
quid,
shilling.
a quid.
Yeah.
So they had that when you were on your mission, or had
Yeah.
they changed the system by then?
No, they hadn't changed the system. They didn't change the system
Well,
until I came home.
they changed the system about the time we came over here,
Right.
because we had problems in New Zealand. The taxi drivers bad mouthing the
The
change.
Oh, okay.
He was happy with pounds, shillings and pence.
Yeah, they started, instead of the pound, shilling, pence, they went with the decimal currency.
Right.
And they called it Dismo Guernsey.
True, no, but that's true.
Aussies always have nicknames for everything.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, Sheila's.
but that kid, she got that money, paid everything. The house was just about paid for by the time we come over here,
Wow.
and then
How
the
long had you lived in it by the time you came
18
home?
years.
Wow.
You lived in Cabramatta 18 years.
Yeah, and it was about, I forget how much a month, a week, you had to pay rent. I think it was 3 or 4 shillings or something like that, As I say, in those days, money was money.
I think we sold it for $6,000. What did we get?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
That was top.
$6,000 or 6,000 shillings?
Oh, pounds. Was it
6,000
pounds.
pounds. Now, in those days, that was a lot of money because the New South Wales State Lottery was only 5,000.
How would you know that? The lottery.
Well, I just counting monies,
Yeah. He played the lotto a little bit.
You don't need to know that other
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
Joe.
yeah. That's why I said, how would you know that?
You know.
Grandpa played the lottery a little bit.
That's funny because I understand the girls didn't have any spending money at all, did you, hon?
No, oh no.
That's where the lotto money went?
You're very, very circumspectly quiet, huh?
There was no such thing as, what do they call it?
Allowance.
Allowances. In those days, that wasn't heard
I
of.
just know Wednesday night, when they worked out the money, we tried to be scarce because it was always very, very tense. We hated Wednesday night when they, money.
It got a little intense?
Yep.
Well,
Well, so was grandma was the tight one, and grandpa had to account for the money?
Well, she was tight, but Dad was always saying, so how much have we got to put in the bank? How much have we got left, you know? And she was saying, well, we've got this because, and he's saying, well, how come we don't have more? She's saying, well, because we've got this and this, and we have to do, and he's saying, well, let's get more in the bank. He always wanted the leftover in the bank, and she was tight. I mean, she didn't disagree with that, because she was a saver too, but there was tension. We did not like
But there's
Wednesday
always
night.
something to fix, or car breaking down, or someone needs some
Well,
kind of medical
we
thing.
never had much problem with that because we ended up with new cars all the time, didn't we?
Somehow or other, we got new cars.
Yeah, somehow we always got new cars. I don't know.
I don't know, but it happened.
Good, you through with your bowl?
We bought
Oh,
a
you're
new
stacking
Holden
balls.
station wagon from a fellow called a buddy of mine, Pat Cullen.
Here, I'll offset it. How's that?
Okay, all right.
He owned a General Motors dealership.
Okay.
And we had a station wagon. We went right up past. How far did we go, Lorraine, up there? And it was at Christmas, wasn't it?
Oh, we went all the way up to Canada.
Right.
To
And
do
when
what?
we were coming back,
Huh?
What were you guys going to Cairns for? Are you going
We
to
went-
Tully to visit relatives?
We went, Mom wanted to do kind of a trip home to her, because, you know, she hadn't been home for 25 years or whatever. And so it was, what, about 2,000 miles, the trip?
oh yeah.
One
Easy.
way.
Yeah, because it's 600 from Sydney to Brisbane,
Right.
and from Brisbane to
Cairns.
Cairns,
that-
it's about,
It's more than it is from Sydney to Brisbane.
right. So, and we went along the way and we had a caravan, and we stayed at, you know, KOAs.
Mm-hmm.
along the way and visited, Mum got contact, we visited, you know, because her mother there were 17 siblings. They had 17 children.
Wow.
So,
Grandma had 16 siblings?
no, my
Her
grandmother.
aunts and uncles.
Okay.
Man.
Nan was one of 17 children. So,
All one mother?
so what we did
No, any twins?
was a set of twins and one of them died.
So there would have been 18.
No,
Had the one
it was
survived?
Yes,
16, I
Okay,
guess. the
okay.
So what we did, we visited different aunts and cousins and stuff along the way. Some were living in Brisbane. Auntie Mim, I think we went to visit her, and some of Mum's cousins that were now married that had children. I remember visiting there. I don't know their names. And then we went up to Tully and Cairns and Mackay and visited a lot of the old aunts
Yes.
up there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we were up there. We were in this parking lot, and
With the
we got
with the
word on.
toads, with the toads. Remember that?
Oh, that was further. That was down in Queensland in the sugarcane country. It was a big
Was
big
that
toads
the one
like
that-
frogs, thousands of them.
Oh, toads that were just.
And-
Huge.
They call them cane toads.
And they were we were staying at a, you know, a KOA type thing, and so the showers were a little room, you know, kind of like a,
Outhouse type of,
yeah,
but
like that, community showers and
Yeah.
stuff. And all along the path, you know, and it was kind of getting to be dusk, and they're all along the path, just lined the path, and they're croaking, you know, and we're like, ah, you know. And so, but they didn't jump at me or anything like that, you know.
They're
So
just
I
big.
remember- I remember getting into the getting up to the building, and getting into the shower stall, and it was just like.
How old would you be here?
I was 12. There were 3 walls, and then you had like a curtain across it. And so we finally were, you know, getting in there and thought, oh, good, thank goodness, you know, showering or whatever. And just as you're getting out, we looked up, and it was open air, so you could see the sky. We just had a kind of little faucet thing, you know, for the shower. But we looked up, and all on the top of the thing, just these toads just sitting side by side all around the
I
tree.
can't figure out how they got it.
I don't know. Up there and like, ah!
But see, these cane toads were brought over, I think, from South America years and years before, so that they would kill the bugs that were after the sugar cane.
Mm.
But what nobody stopped to think
They had no
about-
predators.
Yeah, right. They had no natural predators, so.
They just
no-
multiplied.
Right,
That's the same with the rabbits they brought over from England.
yeah, yeah.
All the
And see, when
rabbits.
I made a lot of money off the rabbits.
They did, but they didn't have a natural predator, and they, you know, like the rabbit fence out in Western
They
Australia.
have dingoes or something.
Well,
Not,
I don't know
There
whether they did.
probably weren't enough dingoes to kind of put a dent in, you know how rabbits are.
Because the dingo ate my baby.
well, see, when I was out there on my mission, one of my areas was up in Queensland, at a place called Bundaberg.
I've been there.
We'd go tracting around there. I can't believe how many cane toads there were, all over the place. You could ride your bike down the street, and
They come out when it's raining. A lot of.
yeah,
That's
right,
That's
right.
what happens
But
in.
we would go a block and could probably count in the neighborhood of 50 dead cane toads.
Yeah. That's how it is in Tucson because we have monsoon season.
They,
Where
they
it
hide
just
in the mud.
downpour.
And they come
Well,
out.
no, throughout the year they hibernate basically in the mud and they come out. One time we went hunting frogs with the kids and there's this huge, massive one, like they're just massive ones. But then you see little teeny ones. They're like hopping in the yard and Charlie's like, ah. He's like, because it's hopping around in his mouth and he's trying to spit out a little frog. But the funny thing is, because they're near the washes, where it's, you know, like the dry riverbeds, and then they become washes once it rains and stuff. So houses near there, they need to be, because that's where the frogs hibernate, basically. Because when you go driving, you're pop, 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 as you drive over the frogs, and they're
That's
exploding.
Ooh.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
have you seen any javelinas?
No,
at
we
your
got,
new place?
we've only been hit like once or twice.
Mm.
Usually they're there during the winter, but they haven't.
Javelina is a wild pig.
Wild boar. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh.
Well, actually, it's not even part of the pig family. It's something else, but it looks like it. But it has tusks.
Tusks.
It's
Come on.
like javelina means javelin. So they have big tusks.
But that's not a vegetated area. There isn't a lot of trees and
They
scrub.
eat cactus and roots and stuff like that.
Oh.
But they go and tip over our garbages to eat stuff out of the
Ah,
garbages.
okay.
And they live down in the
Washes sometimes,
Yeah,
but it's
the
mostly up in the
washes.
mountains because we're kind of near the foothills
Uh-huh.
on the east side of town, and they're kind of freaky.
yeah, Lorraine and I were walking, went for a walk one morning, and there were a couple of javelinas over in the park.
How big? How big? were
Oh,
Sometimes they can get
they're
a
about
couple hundred
maybe
pounds.
18 inches
Yeah.
high or
they? Kind of a
something
small
like that.
dog size.
No,
they
bigger
can get
than
about
that.
like that round, but they're like this long. They're not like bigger pigs, but they're thick.
They get scared off easily because some,
Yes.
like some of the boars, like down in like the southeast U.S. that are real prominent down there, they get aggressive. I mean,
But
they'll come at you.
They
They'll
can
charge
be.
you.
They will if you're like. One time, someone trapped a baby because we have like these alleyways by our house. They trapped a baby, and the mama was coming out, so he just kicked the baby away so we wouldn't come after him.
Well, you've heard some of the story, Joe. That's some of the history. But that's only a portion.
I like all the Aussie stories. I love all that stuff. I soak it up.
I'll tell you this one story. I happened to be in a particular card game, see? And I happened to have,
Sorry.
I happened to find an ace that
Oh.
was better off than
Up
the
your
guy
sleeve?
that was sort of, yeah.
You
And
didn't.
so
You didn't bring the ace.
He run
to
out
the
of
par-
money,
Mm.
so he offered the car in the middle on a piece of paper, which we did do, which we accepted. It was a square nose Morris. This one it was a square nose Morris. It was a sedan
4-door.
with a canvas hood, and you had to pull the blinds down and stuff like that. So I just happened to find another ace that took the dough.
Where did you find the other ace?
I don't know. It was there somewhere.
Did you bring it to the party up your sleeve?
It was there somewhere. I'm not so. So anyway, I brought that unit home,
Mm.
and so what we did. Your mother will remember this.
I bet this guy was upset, wasn't he?
I suppose. Kent, would you take over from Lorraine because this involves her.
Oh,
She's got to put her piece in here.
am I
See?
an accomplice?
He just wants you to come remember with him.
Yeah, come here. Come here. While I'm feeling all right, see?
Yeah.
I'll probably have the weeps after, but...
Well, don't expect me to come and help anymore.
So, I cut that car in half.
What?
Kevin, you made it into a ute.
Oh, you
right?
made it into a
I
convertible?
made it into a utility, didn't I?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Made it into a utility, built all the front and everything, and the back, and we used to go to Patonga,
Mm-hmm.
Which is where? What's
which is
Patonga?
about...
Up the coast, up kind of past Newcastle area, up that
yes,
way,
right.
by Swansea and yeah.
Matter of fact, I got photos of you in that little lake that come off
Yeah,
the ocean.
I'm like 18 months old, 2 years or something.
Yeah,
and
I was just looking at them in there yesterday, I think.
I'm just sitting in a little.
Is it a beach? Or is it just
Yeah.
a little town
No,
up there near the coast?
I think, right up there's all these kind of inlets and islands.
Well,
and,
Sam lives on an inlet. She lives on that lake.
In
Sam
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Sam does, that lives,
have to- if you
that
go
that
out
lake that they
there-
go out on goes out into the ocean.
Have you got one of those atlases?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't, but we used
So I don't think, there was sand there, but there was like a little inlet, little lagoon, so I think it was just amongst
we
river
took
met the-
Jim and Yvonne's mother
Yeah,
a couple of times, and Jim was a fisherman.
yeah, I remember that.
And he'd go up onto the rocks.
That's were the
and
days where the ladies
the-
went to
the
the
open
beach in their
ho-
high
o-
heels and dresses,
It was an
Just
inlet from the ocean, see? And every time the tide come in, it'd come in, the tide would come in over the bank of the sand, sort of beachy sort of thing,
Yeah,
come in over there and fill this little coulee up. It was quite a big coulee though, wasn't it?
yeah.
And we'd get in there and it'd be about that deep. It'd be lovely and warm
Yeah.
and clear as
It's
crystal.
great for little, toddlers and stuff.
Okay.
And we'd
And
get
we
in
just
there with...
sat in there.
Hold the rail.
And we'd have fun, and the
Yeah.
kids would duck me in there, and all. We'd have a ball,
Yeah.
Anyway, I cut that thing in half, and I built a utility of it.
So it's like a truck with a flatbed? Is that kind of what it is?
But I built a frame on the back, and I put canvas over the back and everything like that. The kids used to sit in the back, and Jim and Yvonne's mother would sit in the front with Lorraine, and Kent with Jan and Jim would sit in the back of the utility.
Wow.
We used to go and honestly, well, your mother will tell you.
Sounds like
we
a lot
used
of
to
fun.
go up there, and we went. How many times did we go up there, Lorraine?
Well, I was only about 2 at the time, so I don't know.
But we had a ball.
Yeah, I remember it. Maybe I was about 3, I don't know, but I remember. And maybe I'm just remembering it from the photos.
Well, I got photos in there to prove it. I didn't know we had them,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got them in there.
I haven't seen them. Yeah, I'll have,
No,
I'll have to look at them.
Well, your grandmother has a whole box of photos, and she said to me here a couple of 3 weeks ago, she was fossicking around in there, and I was doing some paperwork there, budgeting. And she said to me, Ernie, would you make me a nice, solid, big box? I said, how big? Oh, she's about this big, you know. I said, okay. I said, I can fix that for you. So I got this box here, this one down there, see? And I taped all the bottom with this Gorilla tape and everything, you know, and all the sides and stuff like that, just to make it solid so she could put the photos on. But we didn't get that far putting the photos in. But anyway, there it is right there. So, but anyway, these photos are in there. You kids have only heard a quarter of it. We've had an exciting, wonderful life. We've had our struggles, ups and downs, like most people do have, like you probably have had problems, your kind of problems. Everybody has problems in their family. And you learn to overcome them and make the really best of them. And that was my job as a father. Even though sometimes the kids would hate you because they couldn't do what they want to do. Maybe, I don't know. You know? But you don't know what makes people dislike you half the time. Maybe they do it just for fun to make a story telling someone else. I don't know. But that's what we did. And even your grandmother and me, we done the funnest things we could possibly do, and we had a ball. We acquired a brand new station wagon. Did we not, Lorraine? Oh, and we pulled that trailer up all over the place. Well, they call them caravans in us. All on the outback and everywhere. We pulled into one particular town. The pub was a corrugated iron shed. Big corrugated iron shed, rusty too. It was out in the boonies. And I was coming in, and I broke a spring on the outfit, not on the car, but on the outfit, on the trailer. So I pulled in there, and as I was pulling into the street, they were all dirt. You're out in the never-nevers.
Yeah.
Right? And when I was coming in, I seen several aeroplanes parked off just there at the edge of the town. There was a big blacksmith, and then there was this pub, this corrugated iron shed, and then there was the grocery store was in the pub, sort of, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I could see these aeroplanes. Some of them were biplanes. One or two of them, I think, were helicopters, the small helicopters. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, we're coming into this town, lipping in, sort of. And this damn aeroplane heading straight for me. I thought, what the heck? Here I got a wife and two kids, but anyhow, I stopped.
So did it turn or
I
what?
stopped, and the guy come in, landed, about the middle of the street, whizzed her around, roared the motor and whizzed it around, took it back up, came to him, parked it in with.
Wow, you used the main drag there as the landing strip, huh?
There's no rules there.
And they don't get very many visitors, probably.
No.
So there's more planes there than there are cars.
Hey, these are all farmers, sheep herders and cattle people. And they herd their cattle with the helicopter.
Wow.
Yes. Well, they did in those days. I don't know what they do now, Joe. They have those big cattle floats that have on the behind they have the tractor or whatever you call it, the big truck with a motor bigger than this house just about. And then they have a trailer on behind that, 3-decker trailer, the ones that carry sheep. Okay, they'd have 1, 2, 3. They'd have 4 of them. They'd have about 100 odd sheep on each.
Wow, that's a
Yeah, and they really go. And on the front of those trucks, they've got those
huge
big bars for hitting kangaroos or whatever's on the road, because they can't stop.
I think Angela's husband was telling me all about, because he
Well, that's
drives
a-
truck.
It's a fact,
Yeah, he was showing me pictures of these things. They're massive.
right? So these farmers herded their cattle and sheep, or whatever the case may be, with helicopters. Helicopters and well, it wasn't four wheels, no, it was motorbikes. Wasn't the kind of motorbikes we have today, though.
Yeah. Bush bikes.
Well, they were motorbikes. They would tell Indians. Indians were some of them. And those motorbikes had a kick start, and if you wasn't careful, it'd kick you right off the bike when you're trying to start it.
Kind of like a dirt bike or something now, these days.
Well, now they'd have something like a dirt bike, I should imagine. Something like a wheel around, but these other ones, they were just, well, they were motorbikes.
Yeah, the great big wide Indian
Right,
motorcycles. Yeah.
And when you stopped, you didn't lean them against things. There was a rack on the back there where you push the rack down and pull the bike up onto the rack.
So it stood it up.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, so they were some, you've only heard some of the stories, guys.
Yeah, I need to hear all about the rabbits,
The rabbits was
rabbiting.
another bypass. Rabbit fur in those days, at certain times of the year, you did this because the pelts, the fur was just beautiful in different times of the year.
Mhm.
So I used to go out with them, and I had, about 4 ferrets. You know what a ferret is?
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
A ferret is a animal. He's about.
Oh,
this
yeah,
big.
okay, all right, yeah.
Like that. Some of them they're big, but there's a lot. I had one big one, but it was about this small, and I suppose to be about as thick as your wrist, right?
Like a weasel. Kind of.
Well, I
Yeah,
suppose.
they're
They're
related.
the weasel family.
So I used to go out with them, but not only did I used to go out with them, I used to set 150 rabbit traps.
That's a lot of traps.
You carry about 25 or 30 on your back, because they're on a chain about so long with a spike at the end, so you hammer them into the ground and then set the trap. And when the rabbit got caught in there, he didn't pull it out, you know what I mean? But anyway, and when you set those 20, because you're marking the traps as you go, what you're doing, when you start off, you might start off about 100 yards from your camp. For instance, you'd start off, and you'd always go where the rabbit always come to one particular place. They call it a dunghill, not the rabbit. We call it a dunghill. And you'd set the trap around about that area there, where they come to relieve themselves. So you set the trap. Now when you set that trap, you would mark an arrow with your mattock, with your small hoe. You'd have a small little hadge, we called it, and you cut the place out for the trap. Yeah. Oh.
She's taking pictures. I
No,
think.
it's Tim. Tim's watching you.
Oh,
Oh, I switched it.
hey, Tim. We had a lovely lunch.
It was dinner. It was dinner.
I'm sorry. They're educating me. It was dinner. Yeah. Have you had your dinner yet? What'd you have? Oh, did you?
Trying to keep him awake. Hey, hey, hey.
Are you guys on Eastern time or Central there?
Central.
Okay, so it's only 10:30 there, Tim.
Yeah, we're looking at the clock up here.
He falls asleep at like 9. On
He's
the
an
couch
hour
every
ahead
day.
of us, so it'd be about 10:30 in Arkansas.
He made fajitas. He can cook. He's a
Tim
good
can
cook.
cook?
Well, he can. He doesn't. He doesn't.
He
choose
has
to,
the
but
capability
he can.
to cook.
Mom.
You're recording here. What's recording into what?
He lets me cook.
Yeah, make it louder.
It's
Yeah.
not video.
Oh.
So he can,
That's a huge
Yeah.
file.
And
Hey,
Andy,
oh.
take it off and break it up.
what were you saying? Your wife?
I said my wife can cook, so I let her cook, and then when she leaves, then I can cook and take care of the rest of us.
It's just a glimpse of it.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody comes